I found myself reincarnated as the villainous supporting character in a novel. The male lead worked construction to support me through college, and I turned around and dumped him for a rich heir. Later, he built a business empire with the female lead by his side. Shamelessly, I went back to beg him for a second chance. Chapter 1. The performance ended, and the applause was thunderous. A rich kid from school who was pursuing me climbed on stage with a huge bouquet of red roses. "Clara, I like you. Will you be my girlfriend?" Cheers and whistles erupted from the crowd below. "Say yes. Say yes." I turned to the back of the audience, where someone was watching the romantic display on stage with a bored expression. Our eyes met, and he gave a slight smirk, turning to leave. No way. My boyfriend would get jealous. I didn't even look at the bouquet and lifted my dress to walk off the stage. In an instant, all eyes followed my steps. I hurriedly lifted my dress hem and reached out to grab William's arm. He froze but didn't turn around. I didn't change out of my costume. "If your friends see me like this, they'll make fun of you." I held his hand, pouting and mumbling softly in complaint. "But I dressed up this nicely just for you. Don't you want to look at me?" After a long moment, William slowly turned around. He was wearing a cheap camouflage uniform, even dotted with traces of mud. Some of my classmates shot curious glances our way, surprised that the campus beauty was dating a guy like him. He stood up straight, his voice a little helpless. "Let go first. My hands are dirty." His hands were covered in calluses, rough to the touch, a strange contrast to his handsome face. I looked up at him, smiling slightly. "No, you're not dirty at all." I shook his arm, pouting. "I nailed my performance, and you won't even give me a hug? Stop messing around." Suddenly, I wrapped my arms around his neck and jumped up, clinging to him as my long, slender legs wrapped around his waist. William froze, but instinctively placed a hand on my dress hem to hold me steady, quickly carrying me out of the hall. Humph, a man who says one thing but does another. He finally set me down outside the dorm building. Then he said something out of nowhere. "Why are you doing this?" The old Clara wouldn't have dared hug him in public, and even made William hide whenever he visited her at school. "Aren't you my boyfriend?" William's eyes fixed on me, a flicker in them that I couldn't quite understand. After a moment, he chuckled and said, "If you're my girlfriend, come with me to a place." Chapter 2. In a cramped rental in the city's old town, the door opened to a musty smell. The room was dark and damp, with only a simple single bed and not a single extra chair. William sat on the bed, lighting a cigarette without even glancing up. "Sit." The only place to sit was the bed against the wall, where he was sprawled right in the middle. I didn't hesitate and walked over, then sat right down on his lap. William stiffened, holding his cigarette with an awkward hand before tossing it to the floor and stubbing it out. "What do you want now? I already gave you all my paycheck this month." In the story, William had already realized the original Clara didn't love him. He'd only come to her college to confirm it and saw her with the rich heir. It was right at that moment I came into this world. He'd secretly partnered with someone to start an internet company. Although it was just beginning, he wasn't exactly broke. He just didn't want to spend any more on me, the so-called heartless girlfriend. "I don't want money. I want something else." William raised an eyebrow. "Don't tell me you want my body?" He was undeniably handsome, tall and straight-backed with a striking face. He certainly had the looks to make any woman swoon. "It's not Samuel I want, the guy who gave me flowers today. He's always bothering me." "Haven't you always wanted to marry a rich guy? It takes more than money to stay alive. Though, in my past life, I married a rich heir who cheated and was abusive. When I tried to leave him, he chained me in his basement. I needed someone to help me shake him off, and William was the perfect person for that." "What makes you think I'd help you anymore?" "Your looks." I crouched down in front of him, looking up. I didn't have much else, but I did feel confident about this face. After all, in my past life, men had constantly bent over backward for it. In the end, even William had saved me from that rich heir. What else was it, if not this face? "I'll be graduating in a year. I can get a part-time job to pay you back now." "I don't need that. Just leave my place right now." Just then, there was a knock on the door. A gentle female voice called, "Mr. Sun, are you there?" William's gaze turned icy, a trace of disgust in his eyes. He sat there, ignoring the voice as if it were just the wind. Then his phone began to ring persistently. each call going unanswered until it automatically rang again. Whoever was outside must have heard it but kept calling anyway. I pressed to end the call and walked over. Pulling the door open, a girl was standing there. When she saw me, she froze. I looked her up and down. This was Mary, the future female lead William would treasure. She wore a simple t-shirt and jeans with light makeup, looking fresh and lively. But from waiting outside for so long, her forehead glistened with sweat, smudging her makeup a bit. Meanwhile, I wore a high-end dress bought with William's money, with styled hair and flawless makeup. The comparison was stark. She wobbled slightly, her lips pressing tightly together, though her eyes remained determined. "And who are you?" "I'm William's girlfriend. Didn't he mention me?" Of course, he had, but she'd never seen us together. Even on Valentine's Day, Clara hadn't shown up. Mary assumed it was just an excuse. Little did she know, William actually had a girlfriend. Mary's face turned pale, looking as though she might faint any second. Just then, William finally came to the door. "Mary, what are you doing here?" Mary's eyes were red as she held out some documents. "There's an urgent issue with the company. I couldn't reach you by phone, so I came here." "I understand. I'll be right there. Go on back now." Tears began rolling down Mary's cheeks, mingling with her sweat as they trickled down her neck, making her look genuinely pitiful. I reached into my bag, pulled out a packet of wet wipes, and handed them to her. "Don't cry. Your makeup's getting smudged." Unexpectedly, she shoved me away, her voice full of anger. "I don't need your fake kindness." With that, she turned and ran, crying. I sighed. For the sake of her future as William's sweetheart and the future wife of a conglomerate, I'd let it go. Chapter 3. Turning back. I saw William glaring at me, his expression dark. "Why were you so polite to her? She's your colleague, right? How did you know?" I held up the documents in my hand, and William's eye twitched, mocking. "Didn't expect you could even read that." All right. Maybe before I only cared about luxury brands and spent all my time on fashion. I'd even crammed for every exam last minute. Finally, he raised an eyebrow. "You can leave now." Now? Remembering the last time Samuel trapped me in a basement, I shuddered involuntarily. "I'm not leaving. Samuel's always lurking near my dorm. I'll stay here." "You think you'll manage to live here? Go stay at a hotel." "I don't have money. Can't afford a hotel." "Don't tell me you blew through 10,000 in a week." I didn't say a word, holding his gaze when suddenly there was another knock at the door. "Is this Mr. Williams' place? Your air conditioner has arrived." I opened the door as the worker confirmed the information and brought in the air conditioner to install. William looked over. "Did you buy that?" Before I could answer, someone else peeked in, asking, "Did you order a bed?" In less than an hour, the deliveries kept coming: a refrigerator, sofa, water heater. William sat there quietly, smoking on his single bed as the workers cleaned and installed everything. When they were done, one of the workers turned to William. "Could you stand up for a moment?" Looking confused, William stood. The workers swiftly dismantled and removed his single bed. One of them added sincerely, "We have a new trash disposal service. Please rate us well." William's face darkened further, too tired to explain. I went to the bathroom with a change of clothes from a box beside the bed. When I came out, William was sitting on the new sofa, reading a document. His clothes were too big for me, and the modest neckline on him now looked like a low-cut one on me. With no hairdryer, I'd towel-dried my hair, but it was still damp and sticking to my chest. William took one look at me, turned away, and his ears went suspiciously red. He scowled impatiently. "I'm going to get some things." 15 minutes later, he came back with 2 meals in hand. He unwrapped one and began eating, then pulled a pink hairdryer from his pocket, tossing it to me. "Found this in a trash bin. Go dry your hair so you don't wet my bed." I was speechless. Humph. Such a man with hidden affections. After drying my hair, I saw he'd already taken a shower, leaving a plate of seafood fried rice on the table for me. The rice was golden, with eggs fried into every grain and a generous layer of shrimp on top. Earlier, he'd been eating plain egg fried rice. When William came out, I was mid-bite, and I froze, staring. He hadn't dried his hair, just had a towel draped over it. Water dripped down his chest and abs, disappearing into his workout shorts along the V-line of his hips. William's lips curved slightly. "Drooling?" I wiped my mouth reflexively. There was no drool. At night, I lay on the bed while William, at 6'1", curled uncomfortably on the sofa. It was his own idea to take the couch. Humph. Serves him right. I turned my back to him with a satisfied grin. Chapter 4. The next day, after William left, I returned to campus to pack up my things. However, as soon as I arrived at the gate, I was stopped. Samuel looked haggard, as though he hadn't slept all night, and demanded, "Where were you?" "I was with my boyfriend. Where else would I be? And since when do you get to know where I go?" His chest heaved, anger barely contained. "Him? Are you kidding?" His tone was mocking. "What does he have that I don't?" "Oh, and do you deserve me more than he does? We've been childhood friends, dating since high school. He paid my college tuition, everything I wear, everything I eat, it's all been bought by him. How could he not deserve me? If anyone here doesn't measure up, it's me who doesn't deserve him." My anger boiled over. In my eyes, "You don't come close to him in any way. Is money the only thing you feel superior about?" Samuel seized on this, raising his voice. "I have money. Do you really want to be poor forever, following some nobody? Sorry to disappoint you, but that nobody has supported me, no matter how poor he is. He's never abandoned me, and if you keep bothering me, my boyfriend might just show up to teach you a lesson." Samuel sneered. "Your boyfriend's probably off hauling bricks at a construction site, too busy to deal with you." With that, he reached out to grab my hand. Just then, another hand shot out, gripping Samuel's arm tightly. "I have all the time in the world when it comes to my girlfriend." Samuel yelped. "Ow, ow, ow." William didn't let go, his hand gripping Samuel's arm like a vice, his voice cold enough to freeze. "Stay away from my girlfriend, or else, you know, a nobody like me has nothing to lose. But your life? That's another story." Samuel's face turned white, and he nodded frantically. The moment William released him, he scrambled away in a panic. William turned to me, his expression strange, a mixture of embarrassment and something almost tender. Finally, he asked, "Didn't you say he was pestering you? Why'd you come back?" "Well, aren't you tired of me?" William flushed. "When did I say that? Then why did you sleep on the couch?" William's face cycled through shades of red and white, as if he were a painting palette. You're a girl. How can you be so bold?" He stammered. I don't mind having you around." Once I'd finished packing, William took me back to his place. "Have you found a job for your internship?" "No, not yet. Starting today, you'll work at my company." Just as I started to smile, he added, "Your salary will go toward repaying your debt. So what do I eat?" William's face reddened slightly, but he kept a serious tone. "The company provides meals and lodging." Chapter 5. I followed William to his company. It was small, with only about 20 employees. As we walked in, a few colleagues started teasing. "Mr. Sun, is this your girlfriend?" William didn't deny it, but he couldn't hide his smile. "Just think of her as the new hire." Mary's face paled as she joined in the clapping with stiff hands. I glanced at William, wondering if he was affected by her reaction, only to find him looking back at me with a gentle smile. Clearing my throat in slight embarrassment, I asked, "So, what's my job?" "Follow me." As we walked, I overheard the colleagues behind us whispering, "I never thought Mr. Sun's girlfriend would be this pretty. He's never been this soft with anyone, right? Look at the way he dotes on her. They're a perfect match." Suddenly, there was a thud, a cup falling to the floor. "Oh no, Mary, did you burn yourself?" someone exclaimed, as the office door closed. I glanced back. Mary was staring daggers at me, clutching a crumpled piece of paper in her hand. I found it odd. William didn't seem to care for Mary at all. How would they end up together? Could it be that affection would develop over time? "You'll be my assistant from now on," William said. "Ask me if there's anything you don't understand." Wait. Am I somehow getting in the way of their budding romance? "Hey, what are you daydreaming about?" William's voice broke into my thoughts. "What's on your mind? Don't you think Mary likes you? That's her business, not mine." I blinked. "If you don't like her, I could just fire her." "You really don't have any feelings for her? She's beautiful and capable." William's face darkened immediately. "Why? Do you want me to like her? Of course not. I was just worried you'd regret it one day. I mean, I can't do anything but spend your money. I like it when you spend my money. Like you said, I enjoy seeing you wearing things I bought. I froze. Wait, you heard what I said to Samuel? William flushed slightly, covering it with a cough. Get to work. I didn't hire you to daydream. Chapter 6. Under William's patient guidance, I quickly settled into my role as an assistant. My relationships with the other coworkers were growing, too. Except for Mary. Anytime I joined a gathering, she would skip it. Recently, Mary landed a big client, and everyone pressed her about where she wanted to celebrate. The company's rule was that whoever secured the client got to pick the restaurant. Mary avoided answering, staring at me arrogantly through the crowd. I smiled, then turned to William, saying I had a beauty appointment and wouldn't be joining, knowing how much I treasured my looks. William didn't think much of it, simply reminding me to wait for him afterward so he could pick me up. I went to my usual salon, and by the time I came out, it was past 10. There wasn't a single missed call from William, just a text from 2 hours ago. I ordered takeout for you. Wait there after you eat. Don't wander off. I tried calling him, but his phone was either busy or out of reach. A pang of unease hit me, and I took a cab to the restaurant. At the door to the private room, I took a deep breath and pushed it open. The colleagues looked surprised. Clara, what are you doing here? Where's William? The client had an urgent matter, so Mr. Sun and Mary went over together. I forced a smile. Oh, I see. If he comes back, please let him know I've gone home. On my way home, my phone rang several times, but I ignored it, instead opening social media. 2 minutes ago, Mary had posted, on the way home, personally escorted by my crush. The air is just so sweet. The photo was of a man's side profile in the driver's seat. Familiar yet distant. William didn't return until 11. His first words an apology. Sorry, something came up. I tried calling, but you didn't pick up. I'm sorry for missing our plans. He was so earnest. I decided to give him another chance. Why didn't you answer your phone? Did I miss your calls? He fiddled with his phone, puzzled. Strange. How did it end up on silent? I snorted. Who used your phone today? William thought back. Mary mentioned her phone had no signal, so she borrowed mine once. You don't think she'd mess with your settings, right? He ruffled my hair, trying to soothe me. Maybe I pressed it by accident. I asked casually, didn't you dislike her before? He hesitated, then chuckled. True, she used to annoy me with silly questions. But later, I realized she's quite competent. And you drove her home? She'd had a few drinks with the client. She was a bit tipsy, so I dropped her off along the way. It felt as if a weight pressed down on my chest, heavy and foreboding, as if fate itself was nudging them together, shaping the future. Feeling utterly drained, I pulled away from him. I'm tired. I'm going to bed. William stopped me, his expression intent, his gaze filled with warmth and worry. I couldn't doubt his sincerity in that moment. Chapter 7. William, do you want to sleep with me tonight? William looked stunned, as if he hadn't heard me right. Huh? I rose up on my toes, kissing him softly on the eyelid, feeling his body tremble. When I woke up the next morning, the bed was already empty. On my phone were a few unread messages. No need to go to work today. Your boyfriend has approved your day off. Breakfast is in the microwave. Heat it up before you eat. After breakfast, I packed my belongings. Truthfully, I didn't have much. Everything here was bought by William. When Laura arrived to pick me up, she was chatty as ever. Don't worry, I'm the best agent in the industry. Stick with me, and you'll be a star in no time. I believed her. She was the one who'd helped me win the Best Actress award in my past life. You're sure there's nothing your ex could use against you, right? Once you're famous, if he leaks any dirt, it'll be a disaster. Relax. Last time, I used him, then married Samuel, eventually becoming the hottest star in the industry. And even then, William had stayed silent. He wouldn't speak up now, either. Before leaving, I sent William a text. Let's break up. I'll pay you back within the year. Then I changed my number and left the city with Laura. Laura landed me an audition for a supporting role, and it was hardly a challenge. After my audition, the director signed me on the spot. The show took 6 months to shoot, and I earned a decent paycheck. I transferred it all to William, though by now, that amount was insignificant to him. In the year that followed, William's company began making waves in the business world, and he became a highly sought-after rising star. Meanwhile, the show I acted in aired on a major channel, and my skills gained me a following. Laura quickly signed me up for a few quality films, and soon my name was recognized by the public. Then, the gossips started flooding in. Chapter 8. A quick search of my name online would bring up all sorts of headlines. Clara's plastic surgery, Clara's secret sponsor, Clara's mystery benefactor. Even a picture from that night, where I'd hugged William after my dance, was floating around online. The headline read, "Rising Star's First Love." The photo was clear on my face but didn't show William's well. I was in an elegant dance dress, my legs wrapped around the man's waist as he held me, one hand on my waist, the other keeping my skirt modestly in place. I scrolled through pages of scathing comments while Laura shredded a throw pillow in frustration. "Look at what they're saying. Dumped her poor ex after hitting it big? You didn't even start in showbiz until after the breakup. And this one claims he worked construction to pay your tuition, and you abandoned him once you got famous. Do they even know the truth?" Well, they're not entirely wrong, I admitted. Laura gaped at me. "What?" "I mean, he did work construction to pay for my college." She glared at me. "And you paid him back ages ago. Money could be repaid. The debt of gratitude was different." Laura finally ran out of energy, sighing. "The only way to put an end to this is if he steps forward himself and clears things up with a tweet saying you two broke up before you joined the industry." "That's not going to happen." "Why not?" Looking Laura in the eye, I gave her a plausible explanation. "He's married now, and his wife doesn't know about us. If he said something, wouldn't that hurt his family?" Laura, being married herself, immediately understood the importance of such matters and dropped the idea. She advised me to stay home, lay low, and wait for the next scandal to distract everyone. I readily agreed to her plan. "You really do listen to me?" Without hesitation, I nodded. "I'd walk through fire if you asked." "Good. Then I book you an ad shoot for Galaxy Group. They've been after you for ages, but you've always turned them down. This is your chance. So many artists are dying for this opportunity, and it's yours." I sighed. "Fine, I'll do it." Pleased, Laura left. Early the next morning, she took me to the shoot. Chapter 9. The ad shoot went smoothly. Everyone there was a professional, and no one brought up the recent rumors to my face. But I still caught some curious glances. At lunch, someone had ordered a luxurious spread from a 5-star hotel just for me. The lavish meal drew everyone's attention immediately. Laura looked bewildered. "Did you order this?" I raised my hands in innocence. "I thought you ordered it." Her eyes widened. "In your dreams." The crew began whispering amongst themselves. Now the rumors about me being sponsored by a mysterious benefactor would only gain traction. Laura had the same thought, her expression darkening. "Maybe we shouldn't eat it?" But with everyone already eyeing our 5-star feast, skipping it would only lead to more gossip, and leaving for lunch would delay the shoot. So, with some reluctance, we enjoyed the food under everyone's watchful gaze. Just when I thought that was the end of it, not even half an hour later, another luxurious delivery arrived. This time, an afternoon tea set from the same hotel. The delivery person cheerfully announced it was from Miss Clara's boyfriend. The crew immediately cheered, thanking me. "Thank you, Clara. Your boyfriend really went all out." Laura pulled me aside. "So? Spill it. When did you get a boyfriend? Who is he? If I told you I don't know who this supposed boyfriend is, would you believe me?" "I'd sooner believe in ghosts." She squinted at me, her expression shifting. "Wait, you're serious?" I nodded. Laura's face turned serious. "Could it be a crazed fan? What if he shows up?" She spent the rest of the afternoon on high alert, watching every delivery person with hawk-like suspicion. When the shoot wrapped up, she quickly packed us up, eager to get out. But as we reached the parking lot, a tall figure stepped toward us. Laura's nerves shattered, and she stood protectively in front of me, trembling. "Run, I'll hold him off." I didn't move, watching the familiar figure come closer and closer. Laura was on the verge of tears. "Go! Hurry!" Chapter 10. William approached Laura, a hint of amusement at her protective stance, and extended his hand with a calm smile. "Hello, I'm William, the CEO of Galaxy Group. Laura, overwhelmed, shook his hand, looking like she'd just met a god of fortune. Oh, hello! Thank you so much for choosing Clara as your spokesperson. I'm also Clara's boyfriend. William's next sentence froze Laura in shock. She slowly turned her head to look at me, dazed. You said you didn't have a boyfriend? I wanted to deny it, but looking at the faint smile on William's face, an odd sadness crept in, and the words just wouldn't come. She's been a bit upset with me lately. Sorry to trouble you, he said smoothly. Laura, as if she'd just hit the jackpot, left the scene in a daze, practically floating away. Soon, it was just William and me in the parking lot. He headed toward his car, then glanced back. Come on. I followed and, upon getting in, noticed Mary in the back seat. Though it had only been 2 years, she looked worn, as if she'd aged 10 years. As soon as she saw me, resentment filled her gaze. William settled in the driver's seat, his voice cold as he said, "Speak." Mary's shoulders trembled, and she began to spill everything like a broken dam. I'm sorry. I silenced Mr. Sun's phone and deleted his call logs. The photo was secretly taken by me. Mr. Sun only dropped me at the subway station. I said nothing. Finally, Mary broke down, sobbing. Ever since you left, I haven't had a single good day. Mr. Sun sends me on business trips every few days, all to remote places. She clung to my sleeve, crying miserably. I'm only 26. But I look like I'm 36. I haven't even had a boyfriend. Seeing her exhausted face and dark circles, I couldn't help but feel a little sorry for her. All right, I forgive you. Mary wiped her tears and, looking toward the driver's seat, asked timidly, Is that enough? Do I still have to go to Africa? You don't have to go. Upon hearing this, Mary didn't hesitate. She quickly opened the car door and disappeared, running like she was being chased by a ghost. Chapter 11. William kept his eyes on the road, barely acknowledging me as he started the engine. I opened my mouth a few times, but his closed-off expression kept silencing me. The scenery outside grew more familiar until we arrived at the old town. I followed William through narrow alleys to a low-rise apartment. He pulled out a key and unlocked the door. I walked in behind him. Everything was just as it used to be. Even the light blue bedsheets we'd picked out together, now slightly faded, were still there. William grabbed a beer from the fridge, sat on the couch, and took a few sips. I sat on the edge of the bed, watching him silently. His face hadn't changed at all, still distant, his lips set in a flat line, his entire demeanor cold and detached. But somehow, in this room, watching him, I felt an old warmth in my heart, as if even the bedsheets held that familiar comfort. Then something caught my eye, a red stain on the blue sheets. I froze. A sudden realization hitting me. Seeing my reaction, William followed my gaze, noticing the spot too. His hand, still holding the beer, stopped midair as his face flushed, then darkened. Gathering my courage, I ventured. I didn't bring, supplies. William frowned. What? I bit my lip, and his face went rigid as the implication dawned on him. Through gritted teeth, he muttered, Don't even think about it. Go buy them yourself. I just clutched my stomach and stared at him in silent protest. After a few seconds of glaring, he finally huffed, changed his shoes, and stormed out. The nearest 24-hour store was far. From the window, I watched him jog down the street, the night wind tousling his hair with a gentle grace. 15 minutes later, I was dressed and lying on the couch as William bustled around, his expression stiff. He changed the sheets, did laundry, and brought me a cup of ginger tea from the kitchen. The sharp ginger scent made me wince. No ginger, please. He raised an eyebrow and let out a huff. I advise you not to be difficult. Reluctantly, I drank it under his watchful eye, finishing the spicy tea despite my stomach churning in protest. Open your mouth. Reflexively, I did, and he placed a plum candy inside. Its sweet taste quickly masked the ginger's sting. William's voice was still cold and exasperated. You're so high maintenance. I reached for his arm, looking up at him. I'm sorry. He lowered his gaze, staring into my eyes, his tone earnest. Sorry for what? For everything, Clara. What did I do to make you feel so insecure? Are you that convinced I'd fall for someone else? In his eyes, I saw an unguarded pain, frustration, and helplessness. He had done nothing wrong. I was the one who doubted him, who feared he'd abandon me. It's not your fault. My throat was tight, my eyes stinging. It's that I don't believe in myself. I don't deserve your love. William laughed, though it held little humor. You think you're unworthy of my love? Then why'd you go and ruin my virtue? All the emotions I'd been holding back scattered at his words, and my tears froze, hanging on my lashes as I stared at him. You're a man. What virtue? He let out a low scoff. Haven't you read what the internet says? A man's virtue is his best asset in marriage. You've robbed me of that. Do you want me single forever? I glared at him, feeling wronged, then threw my arms around his waist, rubbing my tears and sniffles against his shirt. With a grimace, he lifted the hem of his shirt to wipe my tears. Stop crying. You look awful. He was lean, with a thin layer of muscle on his stomach, surprisingly attractive. Without thinking, my hand drifted up to touch him. Unable to tolerate it any longer, he pulled my hand down, then wrapped me tightly in the bedsheets, holding me. Be good and get some rest, he ordered, and for the first time in a long while, I drifted off feeling secure in his arms. Chapter 12. Perhaps it was the ginger tea, but by the next morning, my stomach felt warm and comfortable all morning. Since I wasn't working at the moment, I decided to tag along with William to see him at the office. He worked. I snacked and watched movies. At lunch, the secretary came in and asked William what he wanted to eat. Without looking up, he casually gestured toward me with his chin. Let her decide. Only then did the secretary realize there was someone on the couch. I smiled sweetly at him, tilting my head. I want beef noodles. The secretary froze upon seeing my face, his mouth opening and closing, unable to speak for a few seconds. William glanced at me with a furrowed brow. Don't even think about it. He turned to the secretary with a cold tone. What are you standing there for? Order her some pork rib soup. The secretary finally snapped back to reality and nodded quickly, hurrying out to place the order. I stood up, walked over to William, and plopped myself down on his lap, wrapping my arms around his neck and swaying playfully. But I really want beef noodles. Just then, the door swung open again, and the secretary returned, holding a laptop and completely ignoring William's frosty expression. He set the laptop down in front of us. Boss, you're on the entertainment news. The headline on the website jumped out at me. Exclusive, Clara's mysterious benefactor revealed. As soon as I clicked on the link, a photo of William and me holding hands as we entered the company appeared. The high-definition photo left nothing to the imagination. The article detailed William's rise to success, his current wealth, and even his past relationships. There was a blurry photo of a young boy, clearly William as a child, and me, my side profile barely visible as I looked toward him. The comments section was a frenzy of opinions. Netizen flying rabbit, the guy got rich and dumped his first love. The girl got famous and dumped her ex-boyfriend. Two terrible people. A match made in heaven. Netizen, I don't have cat food. No wonder she's got such good resources. Turns out she has a rich backer. Netizen, Clara's fan, her resources are great because she's talented. Stop spreading rumors. Netizen, Clara's biggest fan, my goddess's acting speaks for itself. Does anyone with a conscience not feel guilty for slandering her? Netizen, random onlooker, I'm just a passerby. But these two look really good together. By the way, does no one else have exes? William sent a few pictures to his secretary and muttered something to him in a low voice. The secretary looked at him eagerly, ready to spring into action. Got it. I'll notify the PR department right away. Laura called right then, and without any pleasantries, began firing off her words. Don't panic. I'll contact the website and get the news taken down. I responded dryly. You might want to check Twitter first. There was a brief silence on the other end before Laura let out a furious scream. Clara, what the hell did you do? The stuff with your ex isn't even over. Do you want to drown in Netizen's spit? William took the phone from me, his tone polite yet calm. Miss Laura, I'm the ex-boyfriend they're referring to. Chapter 13. On Twitter's trending topics, Galaxy Group's official account posted a statement. They confirmed the CEO's relationship with the famous actress, Clara, detailing William's entrepreneurial journey and expressing gratitude for his longtime girlfriend Clara's support. They also sharply condemned the malicious paparazzi and stated they would pursue legal action against the defamation. The post included a series of 9 photos, showing me and William together. The first photo was the blurry one that had been released by the media, but this one was high definition, clearly showing my profile as I looked up at William. Then there were pictures of us holding hands from our teenage years into our 20s. The one in the center was of me in a dance dress, hugging William, with his face clearly visible. The last two pictures were taken in front of William's company building. One was from when he had just started his business, with him putting a helmet on my head after work while riding his little electric scooter. The other was the picture of us holding hands from the news. The internet went wild. OMG, what a fairy tale love story. I'm shipping them so hard. William, Clara, Galaxy Group? I thought they were both terrible people, but turns out they're pure love warriors. I used to work in the same building when they started. They rented a small office, but now they've bought the whole building while my company went under. Just a few minutes after the news broke, they've already posted a statement. Must be nice to have connections. Laura replied to a comment on the official company account. Maternal family agreed. Do you have a problem with that? This sentence quickly went viral, and the term maternal family became a trending meme online. Later, during an interview on a talk show, the host mentioned this moment in time. At that time, many people were touched by your relationship. People said that you made them believe in love again. I glanced toward a certain person in the audience, smiling softly as I whispered, "It was because of him that I started believing in love again." The audience followed my gaze and immediately began to scream when they saw William sitting at the back. The photo of me and William locking eyes was also taken and shared online, with the caption, "May we all find that person who smiles as soon as they see us."